Ozarks Land, finding hidden gems. So I'm going to go over 5 steps to finding and acquiring hidden gems. So, as buyers, there's going to be 5 things. Number 1, buyer needs cash and the ability to close fast. Okay, that's not 100% necessary, but it makes the seller more willing to take an offer if it's cash. If there's some contingency on financing, any contingency that you throw in the deal is going to make your deal a little less sweet. And I'm all about due diligence. And let's be real. There's lots of things. As a buyer's agent, there's different transaction brokerages in the real estate world. And if you're a buyer's agent, your deal for that buyer is you're going to uncover every rock, every leaf, every stinky dog piece that's on that property. You're going to try to bring it to their attention. Will you miss some? There's just a lot to go over. And the more you go and look, the more you're going to, and the different times you go and look, the more people you talk to, the more versed you are in the area. If you know the landscape, if you're playing in your sandbox, to quote what a buyer said. So, number 1, I would say, is the buyer needs cash or the ability to get funding relatively quickly. Number 2, your seller has to have an urgency. It's in an estate. Your seller needs the money to make a move, either in his business or his life, or the family needs some cash, and this is a piece of property that doesn't really mean anything to anybody. So number 2 would be, if you're going to find a gem, a true gem, and they don't come along very often, and you can't wig out and flake out on somebody when they call. When an agent, I've had a lot of buyers say, we're not really in any hurry. We're going to take our time. Good for you. But I like to sell things, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to work with you, but I'm saying if you are in the notion to buy something, let's get on with it. If you're not, you need to kick tires to a certain extent by yourself before you drag me in. Okay. So, number 1, buyer needs cash. Number 2, seller needs urgency, or there is something that's pushing the seller that they want to get this thing moved. Number 3, your agent has to be keen. And keen in, when you go look at a piece of property, you see it with potential, or you see it with different eyes. If you've got some sweat equity to put in the game, if you've got some equipment, if you can clean things up, if you can widen the gate, put them back on their hinges, add some chat, cut down some trees for a view. A lot of times, you or your agent need to walk to all 4 corners. You need to check out the boundaries, look at the different angles of the property, and you just need to be keen when you walk on that piece of property. Where's the power at? How easy is it to take it to and fro? Where? What are you going to do? Are you going to split this thing up? Is this your forever home? Is it an investment? Is it a flipper? You need to be keen on your plan, and your buyer's agent needs, fill them in. I'm sure you do. Fill them in on what you want to do with that piece of property. Number 4, you're going to have to move fast. And so, especially if you're dealing with the listing agent, okay? So a buyer's agent, I'd say probably 8 to 9 times out of 10, a buyer's agent is going to do you some good. if the property's not brand new to the market. And your hidden gems are usually ones that have been filtered around that people have discounted. Either the agent didn't represent them, the pictures didn't represent them. The market was just different at the time it was listed, and now it's gotten stale. So, but if you're dealing with the listing agent and you shoot him a price, or you're a buyer's agent, let's just do that. If you're a buyer's agent and you shoot him a price, and here the listing price is way up here, and you shoot him something here, okay? So that listing agent could shop your offer, and if they've had somebody, if say it was $100,000 list price, that's the retail price, and you said, hey, I'll give you $60,000, close in 2 weeks, and the seller says, I'll take that. Well, then you as a buyer's agent say, hey, we need to get this road up. If they're going to take $60,000, let's move on to closing. If the buyer says, well, hold on, well, then the cat's out of the bag. Meow. The $60,000 price tag, if your buyer's agent or you can't fulfill that listing agent, they're going to sell it for $60,000 to somebody, because guess what? It's a gem and it's shining a light to the world. So you have to move fast. You can't flake out. Buyer's remorse is real. I tell buyers, look, I do a lot of transactions. My broker does more. And there's always a certain bit of buyer's remorse. And right now I chuckle at buyer's remorse, because that makes me believe that I've made a good decision. So if you're a buyer and this is your first, second time, and you're dealing with some professionals and you've been in the market, you're gonna have to get out there and dude, it will work. If it's a hidden gem and you picked it out, I've seen it happen more than not. Okay, number 5, this is it. Have a plan. So what if this was a bad decision? Can we split it up and at least lick our wounds and get out? Are you wanting to make 10, 20, 30, 40%? Is that realistic? If you put in $1,000, I like to always double my money. Everything that I put into a property, I want a 100% return. So if I put a $10,000 cabin, set it, pour the concrete, get the power in there, whatever all that costs, guess what? My time is valuable. Do you see these wrinkles? Dude, time is catching up with the old Duncan Smith in the sticks, and I've got several more moves left, but I'm at the age I've got to make them count. So have a plan and have confidence in your plan. Believe in your beliefs. Doubt your doubts. So anyway, Ozarks Land, finding hidden gems. 8 minutes with Duncan Smith in the sticks, Mountain Grove, Missouri. I am promoting Wright, Texas, and Douglas counties. And I've lived here 55 years. I've been in the real estate gig about 8. I've had some comments that say, shut up, Smith, we don't need no newcomers. Well, that's fine, unless you're needing to sell something. So I've got a lot of listings personally, and I may not be the best guy to represent you in the market. I tell buyers, look, I'll help you and I won't hurt you. I've let buyers go, and I've had buyers make some demands on the phone, and I said, look, you're going to have to hire a buyer's agent, because you're crazy and you're going to get me fired. Okay, I didn't tell them that, but that's kind of how it went down. And the real estate game is complicated. You know, it's hard enough to keep your name good, treating people right and telling people what you think and doing what's right, much less being shady. And I don't want to be shady. That's not my intent or my calling in life. So anyway, Duncan Smith in the sticks. finding that hidden gem. If this helped you, please like and subscribe. You know, this digital world is changing, and I'd like to be a part of it, trying to find my footing. We've had some success with some videos. These titles and thumbnails are, you know, interesting to say the least, and trying to get somebody to click and watch all the way through and help them, and then actually getting them into the marketplace and being paid on a commission. And the seller does pay the commission, but let me tell you this just in. The buyer is the only one that brings money to the table, okay? So, if you buy a $100,000 property and that is listed at 6% in the marketplace, so that 6% is going to go to your real estate professionals. Usually it's split 50-50. Some people don't feel that that's fair. I do. So 3% goes to the listing side, 3% goes to whoever bought the buyer. So on that $100,000 property, let's say the buyer in 1 year's time, and there's not been much appreciation, you didn't get it bought right. Hopefully it wasn't, it just wasn't a gem. It was at market price. So that $100,000 property in 1 year's time, when you put it back on the market and you tell your listing agent, look, I want my money back. I want my $100,000. Well, there's going to be another 6% on top of that. So that property is going to be listed at a minimum at a 106. So they say the seller pays the commission. Technically that's true, but in all honesty, the buyer is who is bringing that to the table. So you need to figure that in when you're buying property and your strategies. Closing costs, is there going to be some surveys? Is there going to be some fencing? Is there going to be more commission? Are you going to list it at 6%? Are you going to sell it yourself? Are you going to put it on Facebook Marketplace? How are you going to run that show? Anyway, Ozarks Land, finding hidden gems. 12 minutes and 8 seconds you ain't getting back, but be blessed. Have a good day. Over now.